Hey guys, today we are back with another Lana reaction. I do have a game plan for the next three albums, the final three albums of Lana, because I am very much aware that her latest album, Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, is up for many Grammy categories this year. The Grammys, I believe, are around February 5th, I want to say. And I am hoping to finish reacting to these final three albums before the Grammys. So that's my plan. Hopefully we can make it happen because on top of that, I stream on Twitch and I really want to do a live Grammys stream on Twitch and have a little fun little Lana party and hope that she wins. I think Taylor's up for stuff too. Obviously, we're going to be rooting for a couple people, but I do hope to see Lana earn some Grammys. I'm so excited to get to Ocean Boulevard because I hear people rave about that album all the time, but today we are focusing on Chemtrails Over the Country Club. I don't know anything about this album. I've not heard one song that I'm aware of off of this album, so we're going in very blind. I've noticed that it's pretty short for a Lana album, standing around 45 minutes. I'm very much still in my Tate McRae era right now. I just listened to her for the first time, and that was my last music reaction on here, was her Think Later album that dropped just recently, and it was so good. But I'm ready to move on into my next little Lana album era. Start off 2024 with Chemtrails Over the Country Club. If you would like to see my full reaction to the album, you can check out my Patreon, which is linked below. I mentioned Twitch, that's linked below. My Instagram's linked below. My Letterboxd. I'm gonna start doing like real movie reviews on Letterboxd starting next year, but I don't know if like people who watch my music reactions will care about that. But with all that being said, let's get into the first track of Chemtrails Over the Country Club, which is White Dress. Interesting, because usually we're singing about black dresses. Why the white? We'll find out. Starting with piano, always warms my little heart. Have I ever heard her voice like this?
Small, but I had it under control every time.
Here we go again. Sun stare, don't care, with my head in my hands, thinking of a simpler time. So it's kind of like this. She's talking about this, staring up at the sun. Sun Ra, what is that? Feel small, but I had it under control every time. I know. The patience that this woman has. Like, she constantly is singing about just the worst experiences I've ever heard. And this frustration that would, like, send me over the edge. But she's like, it's fine, though.
Wearing a white dress. Look how I do this. Look how I got this. I was a waitress.
Was she actually?
You were my man. Felt like I got this. Down at the Minute Music Business Conference. Down in Orlando, I was only 19. Minute Music Business Conference.
I love the way, that's so interesting, the way that she's using her voice here. Down at the Minute Music Business Conference. I love the harsh vocals. The B on business is like exploding out of her. You were a man, I felt like I got this hits. Like when everything feels right because you have someone in your life, you're like, okay, I figured it out. Everything's falling into place. Everything's fine.
And I felt seen.
That's an interesting 19 at Men in Music Business Conference, feeling seen then when she's experienced so much more since. Ooh, we're coming back down. This is the Lana voice I know.
Jazz up, listening to rock all day long.
I love that melody. I also find it interesting. This is not the first time she's mentioned rock music. What am I thinking of? Am I thinking of The Greatest, where she's talking about missing rock and roll? It's so interesting to me that she seems to really be this intense rock and roll fan, but she doesn't really do rock and roll music. She does more alt pop, some rock pop for sure. I don't know, I just think that's interesting that she just seems to be the biggest rock fan ever. I would love to get like a hard, like just genuine rock song out of her. I think that would be, Ultraviolence came close in a couple ways, but not really. You know what I mean when I mean genuine rock song, Lana. That's what I need. Same with Taylor. Anyways, I'll stop talking about Taylor. First of all, I still am not over the vocals that are happening right now. I love them so much, but I could see them possibly being polarizing. Let me know if you're a fan of those. I'm a big fan of this really breathy, like you can almost hear it in her voice that it's hard for her to get up there and hit that note. It's not coming out effortlessly, but like I kind of like that tension in her voice. It's fun to listen to. But also, I love that this changed to I felt free because I was only 19, whereas up above she said down in Orlando I was only 19. And then she just ends on such a scene, whereas before she said she's kind of talking about the Men in Music Business conference and saying that place was such a scene. But the way that she switches up the lyrics down here where she's saying I felt free because I was only 19, such a scene. First of all, it's like questioning, was she really free or did she only feel free because she was 19? And do you feel like finally free because you're entering adulthood? You think you have the whole world ahead of you, your whole life ahead of you, you can do anything you want. Maybe the full force of the world hasn't hit you yet. But I feel like when she says such a scene here, she's referring to being 19. Like it wasn't really the Men in Music Business conference that was the scene. It just felt like one because she was 19 and she romanticized everything. She made everything a scene because that's who she was.
If I could do it all again, I'd fly. 'Cause it made me feel like a guy.
I think it's because too the making it, this whole moment in time made her feel like a god. I think it has a lot to do with like a lot of her personality was still made up of dreams rather than accomplishments. And a lot of the time dreams make you feel more hopeful. Does anyone agree? Does anyone feel that? I feel that.
Wearing a tight dress.
Tight dress.
Look how I do it. Look how I got this.
It's so interesting that she's choosing to paint the picture of her being a waitress and then pairing that with the confidence in the lines, look how I do it, look how I got this. Because obviously since then she's grown so much as a human and in her career. Norman fucking Rockwell was a huge critically acclaimed moment for her and I think a big positive fan reception. She's accomplished so much and her thinking back on when she was 19 and all she was doing was waitressing and thinking about how she was going to rule the world someday. And even just waitressing, looking like, look at how well I can waitress. Look at how effortless I am. I can make everything work and make everything a scene and make everything great. And it's me. Whatever I do, I'm going to excel at. And that confidence and that just carefree happiness is so special. And I think, I don't know why, for some reason I'm getting the vibe that she doesn't have that same carefree confidence and happiness now, despite the fact that she's an extremely successful singer. There was something about the confidence she had when she had nothing that really calls out to her and that she can't capture again.
Look how I do this. Look how I got this.
Who would got this?
It kinda makes me feel like maybe I was better off.
Yep, I knew that was coming. I could feel that. I don't think that's a crazy thing to feel. I think that's pretty common. There's just something about simplicity and enjoying the little things and having hope rather than success. That's really special. Also, it's interesting to me that she changed up the lyrics from wearing a white dress to wearing a tight dress. I feel like maybe white dress could just be there as a descriptor in order to show the juxtaposition of who she became as a musician, like in the mainstream. So maybe white dress is just a way for her to show a polar opposite version of herself, or the pre-fame version of herself. Obviously symbolic of innocence. So it's kind of before she was spit up and chewed out by the industry. She was still naive and happily so in that white dress. And then switching over to tight dress, I can't quite figure out if there might be meaning behind that. Also, I want to point out the lyric, like, look who would do this. Look who would got this. Because what was it before? Look how I do this. Look how I got this. I don't know if I love when musicians like play with grammar. Obviously, poetry and lyrics have a very different set of grammar rules. But I don't know if I like the switch up. Maybe if I understand what she's meaning to say with the look who would do this, look who would got this, then I'll like it more. But overall, this song I really like. I love it as an intro. I think it makes a lot of sense, starting from with a retrospective looking back when she was 19 to open the album. I'm not sure what kind of story we're telling with this album, but if we're going to be looking into our past, it has me really excited. Next up is Chemtrails Over the Country Club, the title track. It's also the track with far more plays than the rest of the songs on the album, which is interesting to me.
I'm on the run with you, my sweet love, there's nothing wrong. Contemplating God under the chemtrails over the country club.
Okay, I want to get an official definition for the word chemtrails. A visible trail left in the sky by an aircraft and believed by some to consist of chemical or biological agents released as part of a covert operation. That's suspicious. I really love this title for an album. Chemtrails are literally like physically echoes of chemicals, whereas a country club is very squeaky clean. So I kind of get that juxtaposition in the title. I'm on the run with you, my sweet love. There's nothing wrong contemplating God under the chemtrails over the country club. Okay, we're here for the imagery.
Wearing our jewels in the swimming pool, me and my sister just playing it cool. Baby, what's your sign? My moon's in Libra.
My moon's in Libra.
Cancer is sun. You won't play.
I'm a Cancer sun.
I'm not unhinged or unhappy. I'm just wild.
I love that she separated the meaning of unhinged and wild. Being like low-key unhinged, the word unhinged has gotten excessively used in the last year or two. So it definitely had a different meaning from when she used it here, and it has a lighter meaning nowadays. But unhinged, originally was like a very negative connotation. Still can be. But thank you, Lana, for saying that. Unhinged and wild are not the same thing. Wearing our jewels in the swimming pool. That is interesting because if I have jewels, well, what kind of jewels are we talking? Are we talking real jewels? Because wearing some real jewels in a swimming pool, you don't want to have a Kim Kardashian moment. You don't want to lose it in the pool drain. You don't want to lose it in the ocean. It's scary, it's expensive. But not caring to wear your jewels in the swimming pool shows how free you are and how unbothered you are. Baby, what's your sign? My moon's in Leo. My Cancer is Sun. You won't play, you're no fun. In my eyes, immediately I'm thinking the type of people who are like just not willing to go along with astrology talk. I feel like there's a reputation around astrology that it's like just for stupid girls who don't understand real science. I don't know. But like, it's just fun at the end of the day. Like, astrology is just fun to learn and fun to read about and figure out. And to me, this is her trying to have that astrology conversation with somebody and them not willing to humor her and go along with it and have a bit of fun, and then her calling out for not wanting to have fun. And then she goes on to explain more about how much she doesn't care what people think by giving us the little red sports car imagery. I like this. This is a lot happening though. This is a lot to take in for a song. It's just vibey so far. There's no hitting theme yet. This is very much her just running wild at a country club and not caring what people think.
It's beautiful, how this deep normality settles down over me. I'm still so strange and wild. Out in the wind, I'm in the water. Nobody's son, nobody's daughter. What to do next? Baby, we're loving white picket chemtrails over the country club. My love.
Wait. I'm still picking up. Why do I feel like she represents the chemtrails? She's mentioned before, she's not like these other beauty queens. I feel like she had a lyric like that somewhere in a song. She's not a white picket girly. I wouldn't take her to be a country club girly. She is the chemtrails. It's really interesting that she says normality settles down over me, because that's another thing I wouldn't describe her as is normal. I wouldn't describe myself as normal. I wouldn't describe a lot of people as normal, but she just doesn't like put up the fake front of like perfection and normality either. But normality settles down over me. The country club aesthetic, the coffee talk, just being yourself. You're in the wind, I'm in the water, letting yourself feel at home wherever you are, letting everything fade around you so you can focus on this moment. That's another theme that she continues through her entire discography, is living in the moment. What to do next, maybe we'll love it, not worrying about what the future holds. Just having this carefree, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that. And it's okay if we don't like it, but maybe we'll love it. You know, there's just, this is such a chilled, comforting song that feels completely free of any anxiety. More normal things. This is so cool because now too, this is wrapping up really perfectly in my mind with her opening track, White Dress. I want you on me like when we were kids under chemtrails and country clubs. Interesting that she doesn't say chemtrails at country clubs. Here she says under chemtrails and country clubs, which is broadening an interpretation and broadening the memories and the experiences she might be referring to in the past. But also she's saying here, she wants to go back to the root of everything. She wants to go back to being a kid again, or feeling like a kid again, not having all of these burdens that growing up has given her. And that's very much a theme in White Dress.
My Cancer sun and my Leo is moon.
The little astrology call-outs in this song is interesting. Also, I love that she's saying, it's like she's talking to him. What is going to happen in this last 30 seconds? Let me wait. Is it just an instrumental fade out? I love that. The ending very much felt like live music, and my brain has decided that it's live music at the country club. Anyways, her ending on the astrology talk again. After I mentioned, like when she first brought it up earlier in the song, where she started talking about astrology a little, and then she said, baby, you're no fun, as in like he wouldn't humor her. He was like, oh, that's not whatever. But I think where that conversation is going, and based on the theme and the message of the song, is who cares if it's not real. This is another thing where it's like she starts it with, there's nothing wrong with contemplating God. I don't think of it exactly this way, but astrology can be considered a type of theology. And so maybe he's not willing to humor astrology because he's like, no, because God exists. But she's saying there's nothing wrong with contemplating God. There's nothing wrong with contemplating astrology. There's nothing wrong to humoring all of these things in the world and not having to be so serious about it. Like, just consider it. Just try it out. Just give it a thought. So I'm happy that she ends it with, you're born in December, I'm born in June, because it's like she's egging him on to like, come on, talk about astrology with me. You're born in December. What does that make you? There's no harm done in theorizing or thinking about theoretical possibilities and questions and whatever it is. Nothing has to be so set in stone if you don't want it to be. You are free to think and have fun with as many theories as you want. Just like when we were kids too. I feel like because when you're a kid, you're like, what if this? What if this? It's that same energy, that youthful energy, the openness to consider new possibilities. Next up is Tulsa Jesus Freak.
You should stay real close to Jesus.
Is she? What just happened? The last song started with, there's nothing wrong with contemplating the existence of God, and now she's like, but you should stay real close to Jesus.
Keep that bottle in your hand, my man. Find your way back to my bed again.
Oh.
Sing me like a Bible hymn. No more candle in the wind.
She said it before, I ain't no candle in the wind. What is happening though? You should stay real close to Jesus. Keep that bottle at your hand. Find your way back to my bed again. Sing me like a Bible hymn. Is Jesus a metaphor in this song? And then talking about her body as a Bible hymn. I love it.
Don't be afraid of our love. On the second floor, darling. In a second flight, hurry up.
Is that auto-tune? No hate, no hate. But like her vocals are doing something that sounds like some subtle auto-tune that I've never heard before in her music. I'm gonna go back.
'Cause down in Arkansas, the stores are all closed. Kids in their hoodies, they dance super slow. But wait hard forever,
I haven't mentioned it, but I like that she's saying Arkansas. Amen. The little giggle. I love these ad-libs, these backing vocals. And ad-libs, yes. There are pieces of this song that I do enjoy, but overall I don't know if I like it. This part I like. I like living here. Ooh, the auto-tune went wild at the end. Not my favorite. Pieces of it I did enjoy. Pieces of it I liked. Overall, I think I'm just not understanding what's happening. And if I can't understand a song, I have a hard time vibing with it, which is a me problem. I'm gonna need help on this one. I'm gonna need help. What is she? What's happening? You should stay real close to Jesus. Keep that bottle at your hand. Just that couplet, I'm confused. I don't know what's happening, what she's trying to say. Is she being literal? Is she like very religious? Obviously, I know that she has like a lot of religious references in her music, but I never correlate like religion and music to that person being religious. I just feel like because music's just all very much a creative outlet. Go back to Arkansas. I love that she says Arkansas instead of Arkansas. Trade this body for that can of gin. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to take from this song. I don't really have much to say because I don't know what just happened. Next is Let Me Love You Like a Woman. So much piano. Ooh. She came in a little later than I was expecting. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, like, I don't know. I love the idea. I never want to live in LA, but I love the idea of New York City, but I just don't know if I could take city life 24/7. Like, give me a suburb. Give me like an hour drive. 80 miles is a lot, girl. But I get it. This is interesting. I didn't know that she was in a I'm sick of LA era ever. Like, she's the Venice bitch. What do you mean leave LA?
Let me love you like a woman. Let me hold you like a baby. Let me shine like a diamond. Let me be who I'm meant to be. Don't make me be bittersweet. Let me love you like a woman.
I love this. I wasn't sure where we were going. She's ready to get out. I can tell, based on the first couple songs, I can tell that she's done with being who she is in this place that she is. She feels stagnant and she just wants something to change, but she doesn't want her man to change. Let me love you like a woman and let me hold you like a baby. So there's like that fun element and that strength. And then there's also like the vulnerability. Let me shine like a diamond. Even though she's ready to leave, doesn't mean she's still not gonna shine. A diamond's gotta shine. You know what I mean? And let me be who I'm meant to be. She's meant to be a diamond. So like, don't try to change her. Talk to me in poems and songs is so Lana because so much meaning comes to her through poetry and music. And it would make a lot of sense for her to need someone to be able to connect with art in that way and connect with her through poems and songs in that way in order to feel completely understood. And don't make me be bittersweet. Literally all of her songs, like even when she's happy, there's often a double-edged sword that comes with it in these relationship songs where she loves them, but she's dying inside at the same time. So she's like, take the highs with the lows. Pain and pleasure is always mixed. She doesn't want the bittersweet. She just wants the sweets. She's ready for just the sweets. She's ready for the normal life and the just me and you and let's not give a crap about anything else moment in time. I feel that.
I only mention it 'cause I'm ready to leave LA and I want you to come.
Need you.
I guess I could manage if you stay. It's just if you do, I can't see myself having any fun.
I love that she changed it to I need you to come, and then also in the parentheses said I want you to. Like she was kind of nervous to just say I need. And then she immediately backtracked. She was like, I guess you could stay. Nah, girl. Tell him what you need. You need him.
Take you to infinity. Let me hold you like
Infinity. Infinity encompasses so much, especially on like an emotional spectrum.
we could get lost in the purple rain. Talk about the good old days. We could get house and pink champagne. Baby, let me count the ways. Let me hold you like a
What is that little instrument in the back?
let me shine like
That sounds like Jack.
don't make me be bittersweet. Let me love you like a woman.
Ooh. An abrupt ending to that one. Yes, Jack is on that song. I heard him. This feels like a slight turn in the album where before she's like reminiscing and almost wants to be a kid again, but now she wants to be a woman and let this person that she's with to let her love them like a woman rather than just be stuck in what could be. She's ready to move forward and take elements of the past. Like, let me be as vulnerable with me as if we were kids, but also I want to love you like a woman, and those two things can coexist. And I think that's really beautiful. Track 5, Wild at Heart.
You make me crazy to see your pretty pics on Sunset Boulevard. So I smoke cigarettes just to understand the small.
You're that lazy. You're like, what else can I do? You know, I've never really truly identified with the smog before. Let me smoke one real quick. To see your pretty pics on Sunset Boulevard. So are they famous? Are they like literal, are they on billboards? Is that what she's saying? Or is he a photographer? Could go both ways.
I love you lots like polka dots. You're killing me more than coffee pots and instant thoughts. With every drop I pour.
She said Insta thoughts. She said it beautifully too. I love you lots like polka dots. Stop. That's the cutest thing. Love you lots like polka dots because polka dots, you know, there's a lot of them. That's so cute. But why is he killing you? You're killing me more than coffee pots and Insta thoughts. Why? What? He's not giving you what you're giving him? Is this unrequited or is it just half-assed on his end?
Again I would because baby in the end you brought me here to you.
Cute. But also that sounded like a love song from Norman fucking Rockwell for a second, that melody. The melodies are mixing in my head right now, so I can't differentiate on the spot, but tell me this piece of the song reminds you of a piece of love song.
I left Calabasas, escaped all the ashes, ran into the door.
Oh, I hear that tambourine.
And it made me wild.
Oh, I love this.
Wild at heart. If you love me, you love me. Cause I'm wild. Wild at
You don't love me
heart.
because I'm a star.
If I wouldn't sing for them no more.
Oh.
Like if you heard I was out in the bars drinking Jack and Coke, going crazy for anyone who would listen to my stories, babe.
Okay, this is interesting. No, this is an interesting way to put it. I love that. She's like reminding him, like, I'm not a star, I'm just me. Don't look at me as the star. Look at me as just someone who's wild at heart and love me for that. And then she goes even deeper into it here, saying, you know, what if I just stopped being this star? What if I stopped making music and releasing it and being Lana Del Rey? And I was just a nobody. Quote, nobody, sitting in a bar hoping someone would listen to me. It's a valid question, and I would like to know the answer, sir.
But you know that I never do just cause you keep me believing.
Oh man, we have this man to thank? Nah, girl. I know she's saying I never quit like the industry is what I'm gathering. I never leave the industry because you keep me believing that I can do this. No, girl, it's all you. I'm not about to thank this man for your music career. You are doing it, girly.
And all these thoughts brought us apart, and that's okay too. Cause even in the worst of times, you saw the best of me, and that's why I stay here with you.
Hold on, we're not going to breeze past that. All these thoughts brought us apart. So this conversation that she's voicing and singing in a song about the what if I wasn't Lana Del Rey conversation brought them apart, caused some turbulence in their relationship, but she goes on to say that's okay because even at our worst, you see the best of me. I guess that's all you can ask for is someone to stay with you at your best and your worst, but it's interesting to hear that these conversations might have put a wedge between them in some ways.
I'm not a star. If you love me, you love me. 'Cause I'm wild, wild at heart.
I also love this line because it's like, you can think you love me, but you don't really love me unless it's because of this. It's because you've fathomed this.
You love me 'cause I'm wild at heart.
Ooh, a little choir.
Wild at heart.
They.
They love me, they love me.
They, she said.
Wild, wild at heart.
That's a really pretty way to say the public as a whole, her audience, the listeners of her music. If they love her, truly love her, it's because they understand and know her at her heart. Next up is Dark, but Just a Game. Whew, I don't know. Why am I a little scared? Ooh, we have an explicit symbol next to this one too.
It's dark, but just a game. That's what he would say to me.
Oh, it's giving ultra-violence.
Sweet, why would have a baby? And that's the price of fame.
Oh.
A tale as old as time. Sweet, why would have a baby?
Oh.
A pretty little fool to think exceptions to the rule. Just
I'm not ready. No, it's already my favorite. It's already my favorite, and I always get scared when the song has me hooked this fast, because you never know where it's gonna go. Okay. I got scared at first, if I'm being honest. I thought we were talking about a literal sadist that she met, where they were saying, it's dark, but just a game. The faces aren't the same, but their stories all end tragically, like a man who's taken advantage of all these girls. But then when she went on to say, and that's the price of fame, a tale as old as time you'd be, it's obviously very clear that she's talking about Hollywood. Wow, it's dark, but just a game. Hollywood is a game. Success is a game. And Hollywood is dark. Yeah, wow. It's dark, but just a game. I was not sure where that phrase was going, but that's one way to describe Hollywood for sure. Yep, all the stories end tragically, but you'll be a tale as old as time. You won't be forgotten. Will you have ended tragically? Yes, but at least you live on past your death. And then she started like doing, I don't even know what just happened. My brain checked out when she started the whole A Pretty Little Fool section, because the flow of that, the way she's singing, I couldn't pay attention to the lyrics. A pretty little fool to think exceptions still rule. Oh my God. See, and that is why people still chase fame, is because they're like, okay, I know there's a bunch of horror stories, but there's still so much glitz and glamour, and maybe I'll be the one who makes it out happy, and I won't be taken advantage of like everybody else. I'll be careful. It'll be okay. Nah. I'm sorry, but no, that's not going to happen. Okay. I need to start from here.
to think exceptions to the rule. Just walk around like you and me this way. And while the whole world is crazy, we're getting high in the parking lot. We keep changing all the time. The best ones lost their minds. So I'm not gonna change. Don't even want what's mine, much less the fame. It's dark, but just a game. It's
dark. It gets serious, but remember, it doesn't matter that much. It's just a game. Wow. Okay. There was a lot of melody happening. I loved this melody here. Oh, it kind of gave Starboy for a second, actually. Not exactly, but just a little hint of Starboy melody was in this. Life is sweet, but whatever, baby. You gotta take them for what they got. They're gonna mess with you, so you gotta stand up and be ready to fight right back. It's like that's the dark part, and then the game part comes next. So the dark part is life is sweet, but you gotta take them for what they got. The you gotta take them for what they got represents the dark, and then the while the whole world is crazy, we're just getting high in a parking lot. That's the game. They gave up. They're just here to have fun, and they don't care. The best one lost their mind, so I'm not gonna change. She's like, I might be crazy, I might be wild, but hey, all the best ones were, so I'm just gonna keep doing my thing.
It's dark, but just a game. You know, our love's the same. They'll both go down in
And she knows they're gonna go down. Their love is not gonna last.
I love to sing, but nothing came from either one but pain.
I did not just cut off that what she was about to say, but fuck it in an incredible way, and I need to go back. But love this. I was a pretty little thing, and I love to sing, but nothing came from either but pain. Like, her being beautiful only brought pain. Her loving to sing only brought pain. Her being used and abused by these men because of her beauty and the fame that came along with her talent. Yikes. Okay, wait.
While the whole world is crazy, we're making out in the park.
Just shut it off. Just ignore it.
I'll stay the same. No rose left on the vines. It's dark, but just
No rose left on the vines. It's like the vines are the substance of the plant. It's what's keeping them alive. It's the strength. And the rose is just something pretty that grows from that strength. And I think the rose is there just for like the aesthetic. It's there to be looked at and it's there to be pretty. But the vines are really like the heart, the brain, the protection, the everything of the plants, even though the rose is there to look pretty. And she's done putting on a show for others. And she's just left with who she is at her core, which is just her vines. Let me know what your interpretation is of that line specifically. That was my favorite song so far, for sure. Next up, we have Not All Who Wander Are Lost. Okay.
I've been wearing the same damn clothes for 3 damn days.
Been there.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lots of states getting a call out in this album.
The thing about men like you is you got a lot to say. But will you stay?
Love bombing. She said, love, you say all these things, you promise all these things, but words, God, words really mean nothing to her anymore, do they? They just don't mean nothing. Because she still is like, you can promise me with as many pretty little words as you want, but I'll still be wondering, are you really going to stay? Are you really going to show me with actions? Okay. Lincoln, Nebraska.
You say you got my name on your tattoo.
Scary.
Opening up doors, pulling out just look at you.
Okay, good job.
I think you know the same secrets that I do.
That's good.
I'm
Having
talking
that in
about
common.
not others who wander our love.
She's such a wanderer too, and she's never once been lost, I don't think.
Just wanderlust.
I like that. It's very her too. What was that? What was that? I can't tell what's being said, but I obviously hear the okay being answered.
As you pour yourself a drink, 'cause every time I said no, it wasn't quite what I meaned. You talk to people like I do. I think you know the same things that I do.
From you talk to God to you talk to people, they care about like what comes after in the bigger picture, but also just the stories of the people in the now, in the little picture too.
Just wanderlust.
I like that. This is such a Lana song. Wanderlust is such a Lana concept. Here it was again. I wish I knew what they were saying. I'm sure you guys know. Please tell me. Okay. I think this middle line here, as you pour yourself a drink, is the end of the first half of that verse, but also the start of the second, where she's saying, the thing about being on the road is there's too much time to think about seasons of old as you pour yourself a drink, meaning like drinking gets you to start thinking about the past and wallow in it, maybe even a little. But then also, as you pour yourself a drink, feels like the start of this second half where she goes, as you pour yourself a drink, every time I said no, it wasn't quite what I mean, if you know what I mean, where whenever someone's pouring themselves a drink and offering her one, she always says no, but she didn't always want to. But this is really cute. I love how she talks about there's different similarities they have, specifically with like both believing and talking to God and then caring about people. He seems to really be trying to put on his best face for her, opening up doors, pulling out chairs, getting her name on your body tattooed on there. That's a little scary, but I think she's into it. Next step is Yosemite. This feels very Wild West. Ooh, rattlesnake.
You make me feel I'm invincible.
It feels like she really dated somebody who lived in the middle of nowhere. Like the story of this album is about her dating someone who lives in the middle of nowhere and her going back to craving the simplicity of that, having time away from LA and having all this time to like think how this simplicity is something she hasn't experienced since she was young and being addicted to it now and loving this feeling and considering leaving it all behind because she loves him so much. It's a vibe.
No more candle in the wind.
Okay.
Not like I'm invisible. Not like before when I was burning at both ends. I did it for you. Did it for me, we did it for the right.
No ulterior motives. That's very special. I find this lyric up here really interesting. You make me feel I'm invincible, just like I wanted no more candle in the wind. It's not like I'm invisible, not like before, when I was burning at both ends. That's crazy. Like comparing her to a candle, first of all, a double-sided candle, that's in my mind now. But burning at both ends, it's like when you're burning, when you're on fire from head to toe, it's impossible not to be noticed, you would think. It's impossible to not get someone to look at you and see you when that's happening. But when that was happening to her, when she felt like she was burning from the inside out, she felt at her most invisible. And now she's not a candle, she's not lit, she's not on fire anymore, but she feels seen, she feels invincible. And that's really, really cute. It's really cool to explain it in that way. And it's a really special place to be with somebody. And it's a special feeling that I don't think just anyone can give you. It takes a real intense connection to feel that.
Different we are from all of our friends. The only thing we'll turn is the pages of all of the poems we burn.
The poems we burn, I love that. I love that, especially given who she was talking about in Norman fucking Rockwell, the poet who thought that he could like shit out poetry like no one. The fact that they're willing to write poetry together and then burn it is also very special, because I feel like the guy from Norman fucking Rockwell would never burn his poetry because he's like, you know what, this might be the next greatest thing. But with them, it's about what writing poetry does for them and their minds and what it does for them to help them understand each other and the world around them and that deeper meaning that comes along with it. And once they personally have gotten that poetry through their system, it's okay to burn it because it's up here now and there's no need to show it off.
No more burning at both ends. Now I do it for fun. I do it for free.
I do it for fun, I do it for free, I do it for you, I do it for me, we did it for the right reasons. All of that also comes back to like that creative outlet that they have for each other. Whereas before she might have this pet pressure to write this great song for the masses, but now he's brought her back to the simplicity of life, not only in the general sense, but also in her creative sense, where she's finding that love for writing in a way that she never has before. And doing it for fun again, doing it for free with no intention behind where it might go, doing it for him and for herself. This is a really cool concept.
I remember watching how green was my valley.
I like this vocal effect.
How deep was the canyon that you came from? Was it because of the cabin and the candles and the wind? We've done it for fun.
Right. Right. Okay. I've never seen How Green Was My Valley. I've never heard of that. But then it got her thinking about them and about him, where he's from. Television static was overwhelming. Was it because of the cabin? I don't know. This feels really personal. I don't know what she's referring to when she says the cabin. The candles in the wind could just be all of the people screaming for attention, just in general, in her life or just in the world. And the noise of it all had started to get to her.
I showed up for you.
Oh,
You showed up for me.
oh good.
We
Cute.
did when I was young till eternity.
Young Till Eternity is such an amazing lyric.
Peace now.
I love it. I love that it's called Yosemite. I would love to imagine that she was literally in Yosemite in the canyon when she wrote this song. Otherwise, obviously, it's just her longing to be at one with it again and thinking back on her time there. But I think it's a really special thing to dedicate one of her songs to this place, because I've felt little moments of this place peek through the entire album so far. So it getting its own song is really cool. And I can definitely feel the energy of this place through her music. Next step, we have Breaking Up Slowly. Oh God, oh God. I don't want to break up with this man. I kind of like this one. I'm scared. This one might hurt.
Breaking up slowly is a hard thing to do.
I did not even realize this was a featured song. I should have paid more attention. Nikki Lane? I'd never heard of Nikki Lane. I've never heard of Nikki Lane. Love the voice. And I can already tell she's going to go so well with Lana's.
I love you only, but it's making me blue. So don't send me flowers like you always do. Are these my good years, or do I have none? They're really good years for everyone.
Hope.
Don't wanna end up like Tammy Wynette.
You know I gotta look that person up real quick. Tammy Wynette is a singer, country singer. That's why I don't know her. I don't know country like that. I'm looking at like her death because I'm like, what? Maybe they might answer how she ended up in the little death section. Morbid, but it says, husband George Richley and Wynette were sleeping all day on adjacent living room couches when he discovered that evening that she was dead. Oh, and apparently a local company had been delivering prescription drugs to her home through her last year. So it was actually those drugs that caused it. Yeah, there's a lot of drug talk at the end here, which is very sad to see. Breaking Up Slowly, like just feeling the life get sucked out of you in a relationship and knowing that you might have to step up and be the one to bring it to an end. Otherwise, it's going to drain all that you got, is a really hard place to be. And then, are these my good years or do I have none? You don't need to hit me with that. I don't need that right now.
George got arrested out on the lawn.
Telling a story.
We might be breaking up after this song. Did he see it coming all along?
Zero communication.
I love you only, and it's making me blue. So don't send me flowers like you always do.
Oh, I loved that Lana went high right there.
It's hard to be lonely, but it's the right thing to do.
Very interesting. Nikki was like the main vocalist on this one, and Lana was also there. Interesting choice, but I did like the song. I loved Nikki's voice. I think it went really well with the song. Their voices together, of course, were beautiful. But let me tell you, I'm nosy, and I want to know why she's feeling lonely, why she needs to break up with him, what happened, where did it fall apart? We've been in love for most of this album, and now you're just telling me you're going to end it? I need an explanation. Next up is Dance Till We Die. I feel this. Dance in the flames. That's me. Just keep dancing. Just don't notice anything. Just keep dancing. Be oblivious. Pretend everything's fine. Keep dancing. Okay. Is that the vibe we're going for? Because I am here for that.
Stevie's calling on the telephone.
All right. Bragging a little bit.
But God, it feels good not to be alone.
Yeah, you got the girlies.
So we made it back in the middle of the night. The Louisiana to step high and bright.
Another U.S. state mentioned.
That we won't say when, we won't ask why.
Is that a little saxophone I hear in the back?
Burdened by the weight.
Ooh, she's really been feeling the fame in these last 2 albums.
Clementine's not just a fruit, it's my daughter's choice.
I hope she gets to have that daughter. I hope we get to see Clementine someday.
We won't stop dancing till we die. I went down a woodside.
I was like, ooh, a little build-up, and then she started screaming at me. I love it. Okay, starting back.
I left Berkeley out of city. I like killing it, talking shit. Jones said she was gonna quit, tearing it up at the African Caribbean. It's kinda hard to find love when you're used to rolling like a rolling stone.
No, I want more of that. I want more of that. I want the whole song to be like that energy.
And we won't stop dancing till we die.
Oh my god. I love all the call-outs to the women in her life. Iconic women at that. And I feel like this is definitely a song for the girls. This is definitely a song where it's like, you know, everything we've been through, how hard everything seems right now, it's okay. It's okay if it gets easier. It's okay if it gets harder. It's okay if we stay stagnant. As long as we keep dancing, we keep walking on the sunny side. That's a choice. You know, it's a choice that we make to keep dancing. It's a choice that we make to walk on the sunny side of the street. She's very well aware of the trials and tribulations she's been through. I think she's really feeling the most recent breakup with a guy who seems like a great guy. Nevertheless, she's Lana Del Rey. Of course, she's going to keep dancing. Which brings us to the final track of the album. Let me notice that it's interesting that we're ending on a featured, Zella Day and Way's Blood. Very interesting to end on a feature. We'll see how I feel about it being a feature after I listen to it. It's called For Free. Why does this piano feel so much more delicate than the other pianos on this album?
I went shopping today.
Jewels are a common theme throughout this album. Oh, jewels. I feel you. Okay.
I was standing on a noisy corner, waiting for the walking green. He played real good on his clarinet for free.
Finding a creative outlet that doesn't have a deadline or doesn't have any expectations placed on it is another huge theme in this album. And it's an interesting theme to follow up an album that was massively successful like Norman fucking Rockwell. It's an interesting time in her life for her to really bear down on this mentality. And I think that's why, because obviously she had considered, it seemed like the greatest in Norman fucking Rockwell. She was considering she was burning out. She was considering leaving music behind, and now in Chemtrails Over the Country Club, it seems that she finally realized, you know, if she just doesn't put any expectations on herself, doesn't let others do it, just does it for herself or for someone she loves or for no reason at all, that's where she finds happiness. And so like this story of somebody playing their clarinet just out in public for free, just to like be at one with what their creative outlet is and wanting to share that with the world without any other motive, it's a cute story to tell, and it makes so much sense to tell that little story and give us that imagery in this album.
Now me, I play for fortunes, and I'll play if you've got the money, or if you're a friend to me. One man burned by the quick lunch stand.
Here's the turnaround I was waiting for.
He's been playing
Real good.
for free. They knew he had never been on the TV, so they passed his music by.
A shame. A shame.
I heard his refrain as the signal changed. He was playing real good for free.
She didn't ask for a song. because the signal changed and she had places to be. And we're not only ending it on a feature, we're ending it on someone else's voice, which makes sense because this song very much isn't about Lana. It's about maybe her most like selfless song ever, where she's like, who gives a shit about my music, and you just wanting to listen to my music because I'm Lana Del Rey, because I've been on TV, or I've done this or that, or I've made this name for myself, I've won this award, I've been seen with this person, blah blah blah. I don't know, I think it's very selfless, a selfless song, a selfless concept, and a selfless way to end the album. It also makes me think of Wild at Heart again, where it's like, if you think you love me because I'm a star, that's not real love. Yeah, this album was her, I think, already detached from fame. There's so much admiration for this man playing his clarinet for free, and the way that it ends with, oh, well, I had to put somewhere to go. The signal changed. I didn't have time. I didn't stop. It's like she's also putting it on herself too, that it's just human to keep it moving and not take the time to enjoy those things for free. There was a line. They knew that he'd never been on TV, so they passed his music by. It's a gift. It's literally a gift. Like, you don't have to pay anything, and you still aren't going to give the time to enjoy the music that this person is giving the world, but you're fine with spending hundreds of dollars on Ticketmaster, and then it's worth it to you. Like, make those little moments worth it too. Take advantage of those little gifts that people are willing to give. I think I've read places that Lana has literally done like free concerts here and there, which sounds very Lana. I don't know. This is definitely her most down-to-earth album, and I feel like you can see so much of her growth happening in this album more than ever before. 100% more than ever before. There's so much maturity. I don't mean to say that in an age type of way, but it seems like she just has learned so much about herself and about the world and about who she wants to be, what she wants to be remembered for, all of that between Norman fucking Rockwell and this album. It's weird. I do feel like I had less to say, as much as like there was a simple concept for this album, right? Where it was just about the music. It was about what felt like a pretty healthy relationship that she was in. It was about that type of love, and also just about music and art and creative expression and finding her way back to it and loving it again because of what it is, not what it can give her. I think that's a really special concept for an album. It's a simple concept because of the album's simplicity. I feel like I just didn't have as much to say about it. I feel like I'm still under 2 hours of filming right now, and usually I can go 2.5 to 3 hours on a Lana album. It is a shorter album as well, but a lot of these songs just are what they are, and the simplicity that is represented in the album is also found in these songs, and I don't want to pull them apart too much. I think it's cool to leave it how it is and just accept that this was a really beautiful album. But even though I can appreciate it for what it is in this moment, I'm not sure if it's something that I'm going to continue to listen to on my own. I mean, I'm going to. I don't mean that in like I'm never going to listen to these songs ever again, because whenever I listen to an album, I let it be the only thing that I'm listening to in my car for the next couple weeks, at the very least. But yeah, I'm very curious. I can't get a gauge yet of what songs are going to end up sticking with me for the long run off of this one. I can't tell. Maybe it's going to be a grower. I feel like Born to Die and Norman fucking Rockwell were the only ones where it was an immediate attachment that I had to the albums, an immediate love. It's very rare for me to find with music. A lot of the time I have to have them sit with me, which is why I take so much time between reactions usually, is because I need to have the time to sit with it to really understand how it's going to play into my own life and my own playlists. Yeah, I know I can tell you right now my favorite song was Dark But Just a Game. But other than that, I will put up the ranking for this album. This is of course based on a first time listen. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't yell at me too much, but this is how I'm ranking the album for right now. Let me know how you feel about this album. I haven't heard much about it. I'm not sure how it's been taken by fans. I know a lot of people at this point, I don't hear a lot of people talking about Blue Banisters and Chemtrails. I hear a lot of people excited for me to listen to Ocean Boulevard, but I want you to take the time to let me know how this album sits with you, how certain songs sit with you, certain lyrics, if they stand out. And, you know, the next music reaction will definitely be Blue Banisters, and I'll probably see you with that in a couple weeks.